So same thing, again, to me, it's the details that bug me, right? I'm super picky, a little too picky if you ask my guys, but there's a reason. So if I open the hood and I see this is awesome. There's the fuse holder. And then I've never seen that. That's ingenious, but all right. They loomed the wire, but gave up halfway, ran out. I don't know what the hell. Like, I'm not even sure what happened because you half-assed it. Sorry. You half did it and then stopped. I don't even understand. But if I'm the dealership, if I'm another shop, if I'm whatever, and I pop the hood and this is what I see that I can see without taking anything apart, what does the rest of the install look like? So don't give yourself away. If you're gonna do crappy work, the stuff that you can see, do a good job on that, because then at least somebody would look at it and go, oh, well, maybe they did the rest of the install pretty good. If I pop the hood and see this, we already started bad. Same thing with the amp board. If I move the seat up and it's a plain piece of wood with a bunch of gears strapped to it, I'm not believing in you right now. Sorry, guy, I'm just not. All right, so this is why, like with us, we try to make all our stuff look as OEM as possible. There's a reason behind it, because if it goes to the dealer, it's a brand new truck. If it goes to the dealer, if it goes to another shop, if it has a warranty claim, they're not gonna throw us under the bus because somebody did that, They're gonna look at it and go, well, first, they won't be able to tell we did anything, but if they do, or if they know a little bit about audio, they're gonna be like, wow, this thing is properly terminated, it's properly routed, it looks like it's part of the car, so on and so forth, okay? So there's a reason to my madness. I know it's a little bit overboard sometimes, but there's a reason for it. The final result. So this is the difference. So we wanted to show you, obviously, it's actually a piece of composite. All the gear, it's bolted to the car, and then all the gear is bolted to it. And then as you can see, all the wires are dressed and ran, right? Once the seat is on here, you won't be able to see any of this. But everything is heat shrunk and braided. And then there was a ground point. So there's a factory ground point here, but there was an empty spot here with a threaded bolt. So what we ended up doing is putting the grounds there. So just to show you the little things that make a difference, right? So apparently their first attempt at a ground was there, and it either didn't work or something, and they just cut it and left it there. Their second attempt was there, but this is a really hard steel and they couldn't get through either 1, 2, the 3 times that they tried. So then they moved on to this factory bolt. And that's actually a decent mount, but we ended up making our own because we want it to be isolated. Even though it's obviously sharing the same ground of the car, we still want it to be its own bolt, so you're not undoing any of the factory grounding points. All the wiring that you saw just kind of thrown about the car is actually all of this, but as you can see, it's very difficult to tell what's factory and what isn't. This is our speaker wires, power. We also ran, if you saw, they only had a single power wire. We ran dual. We ran one for the 8-channel and then one for the mono block, so that we get the most performance out of the system that we can. The other thing that they did is they put that 3-inch speaker in here. The problem is there's only one wire that runs into the door. So there was no way they were using it fully active with the amp that they had and getting the full capability of that DSP amplifier, because they didn't run an extra wire in the door. And the reason they didn't is because this has a Molex, which is very difficult to run wires. You have to do it because now we're fully active, and you can see he's got everything labeled. And so we ran, while we're in here, the way he connected the wires was he just wrapped them around the speaker. It's not soldered. It's not at least military splice, which is poked through and wrapped. This is just loose, and I mean, you could see it just literally falls apart. So we're not gonna use this. We actually ran all our own wiring. So this is the middler, mid bass, and tweeter. So he ran all new wiring. So now it's fully home runs. So they run from the speaker to the home where the amplifier lives, just to show you that. Same thing, the wire was ran and kind of hanging and dangling across the motor, and it was loomed about halfway, and then the fuse holder was just sitting there bouncing around, right? Check this out. So Hondo re-ran all the wiring, ran it on this side, so it's a shorter run, built this bracket, and obviously, you know, we like our breakers, right? So everything's on a breaker, heat shrunk, and then he custom bends these terminals that the battery follows, right? And it just looks as if it came with the car. Plus, you can just flip them on and off whenever you want. And then, so as you can see, this is an aftermarket adapter. Now, this is technically made for Toyotas. This is a Toyota adapter that they sell. The problem is the new Toyotas are running a new style door woofer. That new door woofer is larger than the original. So they had this on here, but it wasn't fully covering the hole. What we did is, and you can see how thin and flimsy this is. Look at this. So it's machined composite, it's thick, it's solid. And now it just gives us a much more solid mounting surface for the new speaker. So they did do some deadening. They just did like kind of patchwork, some patches here, 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 and here. Not much on the inner skin. So the other thing is they had no deadener around the speaker at all. This is hard plastic, and it sits on these two little nubs, these four little nubs. That means that air or bass is escaping out of the side and causing cancellation. It's another reason we deaden around the speaker so that it doesn't vibrate or resonate around the speaker, and also behind the speaker so that the sheet metal directly behind the driver doesn't resonate as well. In the rear, they had the factory speakers, which the client proceeded to blow because they were off of an aftermarket amp. Now, that's not always a problem. As long as you adjust for it correctly, you can use the stock speakers. But this being a bass audio system, the stock speakers are cheap paper, plastic speakers, so they can't take a ton of juice. So we ended up upgrading to some Morel components, and we're gonna put in the tweeter. So the normal tweeter snaps in, but this Morel tweeter is obviously much larger. So what we ended up doing is we lasered this spacer assembly, and what that's gonna do is with this is we also lasered this 3M double-sided tape ring, and that will mount to there. So now the tweeter will be permanently mounted to the panel. If you ever have to, you can pop the tweeter out, but this way the tweeter's nice and secure, and you don't have to worry about it falling out or anything when you slam the door. Not melt the fucking tweeter. All right, so continuing with the Toyota Tundra Rescue, right? So this is what we're swapping it with. Tell me that isn't just gorgeous. That is probably one of the sickest grills. I love it. This is very similar to like a lot of your Mercedes, a lot of your high-end cars, but that's just sexy. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, it's just beautiful, right? So this is what was in there. And, you know, now, to be fair, the price difference between these two is insane. These are great for certain applications because they fit the bill. But, I mean, there's just no comparison when it comes to the actual driver. And again, the price difference, insanely. But let's check that out. So, I mean, that is just an amazing driver. And this is the voice coil, which is the motor, is this big, where on this one, the voice coil is that big. So this can take a ton more power, and it's just a much cleaner sound. So we're gonna mount them in the door. We had to re-mill the holes. The way they did it, it was done like with a hole saw. So we re-milled it, we router it. Like everything, we make a jig to ensure that it's absolutely perfect. And then we put that on here and machine it on the door. So now we know, now again, nobody's ever gonna see it, but it bugs me, right? I hate when things are cut out and they look like somebody's been chewing on the panel, or they cut it out with their left foot or something, you know, like it's just bad. So I like, now obviously the holes we can't do anything about. but the driver luckily covers up all the holes that were drilled in the panel. But this should sound amazing. So we have a 3-way setup, tweeters in the dash, 3.5 in the door, 6.5 in the woofer spot. Can't wait to hear this thing.
Visit our website at showtimeaudiochicago.com.